Quintero, Cueta, can't find a way through. Colombia certainly pressing hard, looking for an equaliser, having taken the lead in the second minute. Through John Arias, Quintero's ball forward. Wouldn't run there for Cordoba. Carlos Gomez goes for goal. Deflected wide, corner kick for Colombia. Carlos Gomez, who's with Vasco da Gama in Brazil. It's his first international appearance since November 2024. So he must feel that he's got a point to prove to the coach tonight and in the forthcoming friendlies. Quintero's ball in, punched away by Livakovic. Not too far though, and he makes the save easily. Could he have made the catch initially though, the goalkeeper here, as it's pulled in. Went for the punch instead. And the header was from Santiago Arias. Another of the very experienced Colombian player, Santiago Arias, hoping to play at his third World Cup later this year. So the cooling break.
Ladies and gentlemen, for tonight's match, both teams have agreed to cooling breaks in each half and directed by the referee.
And the cooling break will last for 3 minutes.
Will last up to 3 minutes.
So we could be in for an enthralling finish. John Arias putting Colombia in front. Luka Vuskovic with a very swift equaliser for Croatia. Igor Matanovic putting them 2-1 ahead just before half-time. Luka Modric there, getting ready to come on. It was expected that he might come on just for a little cameo role at the end of the match. The talisman for Croatia. Christian Jakic also looks like he is going to come on. There is Kramaric, Andre Kramaric is going to come on. So triple change then for Croatia. Luka Modric comes on to a huge cheer. Mario Pasalic withdrawn from midfield. Marco Pasalic comes off from his position out wide on the right. And Martin Ehrlich will be replaced in defence.
Martin Ehrlich. Entering the game, number 9, Andre Kramaric. Leaving the game, number 24, Marco Pasalic.
So there might be a bit of a tactical reshuffle here for Croatia, with Kramaric coming on up front. Jakic and Modric, both midfielders. Luka Modric winning his 195th cap. Chance here. Can't be taken by Gomez. It's behind for the corner. Cordoba asking for a decision in his favour. He's not going to get it. Colombia, though, do have this corner kick. Punched away, this time firmly by Livakovic. Kramaric gets his first involvement. Modric. Modric, now 40 years of age, with Milan in Italy in Serie A now, after 13 years with Real Madrid. Made his international debut way back in 2006, Luka Modric. And it will be his 5th World Cup finals. When injury permitting, he will take his place in the Croatia squad. Forward by Lukumi. Christian Jakic is with Augsburg in Germany. Poked forward by Modric. Croatia about to make another change. Toni Fruk is going to come on. Vuskovic. Sucic. Moro. And it is Nicola Moro who is leaving his position in midfield. He will be replaced by Toni Fruk, who is the only outfield player in the Croatia squad who's still playing his football in the country. He's with Rijeka. He comes on for his 6th international appearance. Modric restarts play. Modric again. Kramaric. Stanisic. Vuskovic. Stanisic could be in trouble here. Flag up though on the near side. It's a foul on the Croatian substitute. Grasic. Stanisic. Modric. Croatia will look to use him as much as possible. Modric is fouled. I do wonder whether Luka Modric might well announce his retirement from international football after the World Cup finals. Not kept in play. Luka Sucic. Vargas. Sanchez. Arias. Quintero, lovely little bit of play here from Colombia. Carrascal. Mercado on that far side, into the middle. Cleared away by the impressive Vuskovic. Must be remembered, he's just 19 years of age, the defender. He scored a goal and looked very settled in central defence. Vargas will gather into the last 5 minutes, plus whatever additional time is to be played at the end of the 90. Colombia's run of 9 matches without losing is in danger of coming to an end. In the hands of a Croatia team who will extend their unbeaten run into a second year. Quintero. The way through for Gomez. Stanisic. Oh, not quite sure what that was. It's behind for a corner. He got that all wrong, Josip Stanisic. And it is handed Colombia a corner. Can Colombia take advantage of that error from the Croatian substitute? Corner taken short. Quintero. Nicely done. Not kept in play. Colombia have 2 more friendlies before the World Cup finals. They play France in Maryland in the USA on Sunday, and then they are up against Jordan, another team who have qualified for the World Cup. That's in San Diego in early June. Croatia play Brazil here next week, and then they have 2 home games in early June against Belgium and Slovenia before they make their way across the Atlantic for their opening game against England in Dallas. Castano. Oh, it was a stretch there, and it was a stretch for Puerta. Didn't quite fall there for Kramaric. It's a goal kick. All the goals then in the first half, but Croatia so close to getting 2 more in this second half. Petar Musa twice hitting the post. Here's John Cordoba. Quintero. Croatia free kick. How much additional time is to be added on? We will find out very shortly. 90 seconds of the 90 minutes remain. Vuskovic. Held up by Musa. Infield from Jakic. This is Stanisic. Modric. At least those inside the stadium tonight have had the chance to see not only James Rodriguez in action, but also Luka Modric. Batarina. Vuskovic. That's a foul. It was Santiago Arias all over the back there of Musa. As we go into additional time then at the end of this match, and there will be a minimum of 6 minutes.
Has indicated that there will be a minimum of 6 minutes of stoppage time in the second half.
3 minutes of that, of course, because of the cooling break. And we've had so many substitutions in this second half. Vuskovic under pressure here from Carrascal. To corner. Came off the Croatian defender last of all. What a noise inside the stadium. Driven deep, again punched by Livakovic. He's not really wanted to catch too much tonight. Gomez. He's got a pretty good goal-scoring record for his country, Andres Gomez. 2 goals in his previous 4 before this game. Livakovic taking his time. You can hear the reaction from the Colombian supporters. Livakovic, who was in the Croatia squad at the 2018 World Cup and was first choice in Qatar at the back end of 2022. Doesn't seem that long since the last World Cup, does it? But the next one is under 100 days away. That's a free kick, and Colombia will send plenty forward. Davison Sanchez, John Lukumi, both coming up from the back. A foul on Diva Mercado. Juan Quintero. We'll be looking forward to playing at his 3rd World Cup later in the year. Quintero's ball in, headed away by a Croatian defender, and they might be able to break here. Mercado. It's going to be one-way traffic. With Croatia relying on the counter-attack. Modric kept it in play. Here's Modric again. Mercado. Castano. Sanchez. Arias. Carrascal. Support here from Puerta. Quintero. Arias. Just away by Modric. Anywhere will do as far as Croatia are concerned. Sanchez. Lukumi lays it wide. Goes for the return as well and picks it up. Croatia throw, and they'll be in no hurry to take it. Fruk. Batorina. Fruk with a little ball in field. No way through for Stanisic. Referee says, let's play on. Croatia will pick up. Into the last of the minimum of 6 additional minutes. That's a free kick. Referee will want this taken from the correct position. Colombia in a hurry. So this may very well be the last meaningful attack of the match. And it comes to nothing. We're into time added on to the minimum of 6 minutes. Away by the head of Lukumi. Referee's had a look at his watch. Vargas. Straight out of play from the goalkeeper, and that might well be it. Croatia take the victory. All the goals in the first half. John Arias putting Colombia in front inside 2 minutes. But moments later, Luka Vuskovic with the equaliser. Igor Matanovic with what proved to be the winner. It's ended Croatia 2, Colombia 1.
There's only one episode left until the season finale.